softly, don't break the shutters of the windows, don't scatter the pages. Don't throw down the books on the shelf. Now what the poet is actually saying, he's requesting the wind to come softly. He's saying, please wind, be kind enough, be gentle and come very softly. Don't be very harsh to us. Don't be very hard upon the environment. You should come very softly, so that if you will come softly, and then he says, don't break the shutters of the windows. Then he also says that please come very softly, because if you will blow very hard, then what you're going to do, you're going to break the shutters of the windows. So that's why he says come very gently, so that the windows are not being harmed, and if the windows are harmed and papers which are lying inside the room, then they will also be scattered all over, fail jayenge. So that's why he says don't scatter the papers. So he's again asking the wind not to scatter, not to throw the papers here and there. Come gently, come softly, don't throw down the books on the shelf. So when wind is very harsh, what wind does, it takes away everything with it, right? So that's why poet is just requesting the wind to come slowly and do not throw the papers on the shelf. Do not throw the books which are kept on the shelf away if you are blowing very gently, if you are coming on very softly. Then he says, there, look what you did. Now wind, initially how wind comes, okay, wind first of all it blows very softly and then all of a sudden with lot of force. So that's why poet says that see what you did. I told you to come softly, but you didn't listen to me, but you are now, there's lot of destruction which you have caused. There, look what you did. You threw them all. So he says, now I warned you, but you came very harshly, and now what you have done, you have threw everything. The papers are lying on the ground, the books are over there. So you have done ruined everything. You tore the pages of the books, because wind blew too fast, so the pages of the books are also torn. Tore means here tore is second form of tear. Okay, you brought rain again. So after a heavy wind, what happens? It is obviously rainfall. So he also says that you have also brought rain again. You are very clever at poking fun at weaklings. So now poet says that you are very clever. You are so smart that you poke. Poke is to actually pinch somebody, to point out at somebody. So what wind is doing? Poking fun at weaklings. Weaklings are all the weak things which are not strong, which are being harmed because of wind. Then he says, as if, the poet says that as if he feels that wind is making fun of all the weak things. He is laughing, wind is laughing at all the weak things, and here wind is being personified. That the poet is saying that he feels that wind is making fun of all the little things which come its ways and which wind is easily able to destroy. And that's why wind is laughing at it. Ki ye to kuch bhi nahi hai. I can destroy so much. I am very huge, I'm very harsh, I'm very unkind, I can destroy so many things, and that's why wind is making fun of all these things. Frail crumbling houses, crumbling doors, crumbling rafters, crumbling wood, crumbling bodies, crumbling lives, crumbling hearts. The wind goes, winnows and crushes them all. Now, first of all, this paragraph, you need to know that poet is again and again using this word crumbling, 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 because he wants to emphasize on this, that what wind is doing, wind is crumbling everything. Crumble is to break it down into small fragments, into small pieces. Now, what wind is doing, wind is breaking down everything. It's just destroying everything that is coming in its way. And what wind is doing, why it is doing, it is showing that all these things which the wind is destroying is actually weak. So frail here means weak. So what wind is doing? Wind is breaking down all the houses which are weak, the walls of the houses which are weak. Wind is breaking down doors which are weak. Wind is breaking down rafters. Rafters is this kind of structure which is built upon the hut which is made up of wood. So wind is also destroying rafters. Wind is crumbling down the wood. Wind is destroying the wood, the trees which are very weak. You see, when it happens, when there's very fast wind which is blowing, even the trees are lying on the ground. Okay, so what wind is doing? Wind is also crumbling the wood. Wood here means trees. crumbling the bodies, even the bodies which are very lean, okay, they are also being hurt, like they fall down because of a very harsh wind sometimes. So what wind is doing? Wind is also crumbling the bodies which are weak, crumbling the lives. Wind is also destroying the lives and crumbling the hearts. Okay, wind is not actually crumbling the hearts, but wind is so strong that it can also destroy the heart of somebody who is very weak at heart. Okay, somebody who is not very strong, emotionally strong. So wind can also destroy it. The wind god winnows and crushes them all. So what wind is doing here, poet is referring to wind as god. So what god is doing, winnows, if you know, when you winnow the wheat, you are taking out husk out of the wheat. Okay, so channa as we say it. So what wind is doing, wind is actually a type of winnowing. It is also chandri. So what it is doing, it is taking out all the weak people, then the strong people. Wind is not causing any harm, but all the weak people which are being separated in this winnowing process, wind is just destroying them all. Because wind is what? Wind is being called as wind god, because just like god, wind is just destroying all the weak things. So here what poet is saying is that we should be very strong. Okay, we should be so strong that wind cannot destroy us at all. He won't do what you tell him. He refers to whom? Wind. So even if you tell something to wind, if you ask wind not to destroy, as the poet asked wind in the beginning of the poem, that come softly. Okay, but wind listen to him? No. Wind will never listen to anybody. Wind will do whatever wind wants to do, wind wishes to do. Wind is not going to listen to anybody and follow up. So let's build strong homes. So what poet is saying, so what we should do, we should actually build strong homes. Okay, our walls, the walls of the house should be so strong that even the harshest wind cannot destroy it. Let's join the doors firmly. So he says the doors of the house should be joined, should be closed very firmly, that wind cannot break it down. Practice to firm the body. Even our body should be so firm and so strong that wind cannot cause any harm. We should not fall down because of the harsh wind. Make the heart steadfast. Even our heart should be so emotionally strong that it cannot be destroyed. Now you need to understand one more thing. Here wind, by saying wind, poet is not actually just talking about the wind, but poet is also referring to other things, like other things that hampers us, other things that hampers our environment, to our body, which causes a lot of harm to our body. So poet, what he wants to say, that we should be very strong emotionally and physically, that anything for matter, here wind could be symbol of anything, any outer environment which can cause harm to us should not at all harm us. This is what the poet wants to say, that whatever is very strong things which are there in the environment, maybe it is people, maybe the words of the people, maybe it is anybody, those things should not cause any harm to us. We should be so strong and firm in ourselves. We should be so strong that nothing could actually cause any harm to us. Moving on. Do this and the wind will be friends with us. The wind will blow out weak fires. He makes strong fires roar and flourish. His friendship is good. We praise him every day. Now the poet says that what we need to do, we need to be friends with the wind. Okay, we should be so physically strong that whatever challenges are coming in our life, we should not be afraid of it, but we should face those challenges very boldly. And that's why we should become friends with all the things that may cause any harm to us. The wind blows out weak fires. Now he's giving a very beautiful example that what wind does to weak and what wind does to the strong thing by giving it an example of fire. Now, this is very important. It is even asked in your questions that what wind does to weaklings and the strong things. Now wind blows out weak fires. If you talk about a candle, if you keep candle in front of a wind, what will happen? Candle will blow out. What wind is going to do? It is going to blow out the weak fires, because the candle fire is very weak. But on the other hand, if you burn a very good amount of woods, or maybe a house is on fire and then there is lot of wind, so what happened? The fire actually flourishes. वो बढ़ जाती है because of the wind. So what the wind is doing? Wind is making the strong fire flourish, go huge. Okay, and it's not blowing out that fire. Okay, so that is what we need to learn from wind, that whatever is weak things, weak things are destroyed by wind. So similarly, all the challenges and difficulties we face in our lives, if we are not strong enough, then what we will be having is, we are going to face difficulties. We won't be able to face the challenges if we are very weak. But if we are very strong, whatever challenge comes in our life, we are going to face it very boldly without being afraid of anything. So that's why poet says that we should actually do friendship with wind, because the friendship is very good. If you are friends with wind, you are seriously going to do great things in life. We praise him every day, because wind is being praised by everyone every day, because wind is such a powerful thing which can do a lot of things in life, which can destroy and which can also flourish. So that's why wind is something that can cause harm also, that can also help you in grow. So it depends upon the thing. If the thing is weak, it will be destroyed. If the thing is strong, the wind is going to flourish it. So that's what you need to be in your life. You need to be very strong physically and emotionally, so no outer environment or outer anything can cause any harm to you. Let's move on to the conclusion.